Right, final part of this video, part 12. I actually just did it, but my laptop, my trusty laptop, did not record the audio. Here we go again. My last video I got to my alcoholic breakdown. 17th of January I prayed hard that I wanted to live. I did. I was given strength, and during the 18th of January I shaved my beard off, I shaved my hair, and I stopped drinking. I went through alcohol withdrawal. It was hellish, but I'd hit rock bottom. I could barely walk, and I had to sort of learn to walk again, and I got through it. I got through the physical withdrawal. I decided to live, so there you go. This is 2018. It seems like years and years and years and years ago. It's only 2 years ago. Seems like a lifetime has gone since then. With my last video, I sort of condensed 2010 to 2018 very quickly. There's a lot of things I probably missed. Some people who have helped me out over the years, 2 or 3 very good friends who have helped me out over the years, who I intend to repay their debt and their help, and I'm extremely grateful, and when I get to a point to help and repay them, I certainly will. Phil here has put up with so much. Yet today, and sort of the past few months, I've remained resentful at him and his lack of I don't know. I'm not trying to blame others. It's up to me to be responsible. But it always seems to be me trying to be creative and do something. And you know, I am the lodger here, really. And myself and Phil's friendship over the years has been very. We've always got on, you know. Except you know, with me being so unreliable work-wise, and having the gambling and the drinking, and he's been supportive and just giving me the roof over the head and putting up with a lot of the things that I've done. So for that I am grateful. I guess I remain ungrateful with the fact that he sort of just spent years and years not trying to change anything and do anything or spur me on to do anything. Should that be the job of someone else? Not really. It should be up to me. So I'd recovered in 2018 from the physical alcohol withdrawal, but in March, at March time, springtime 2018, my hemorrhoids had come back and were daily a struggle. And they were, I was having a number 2, I was having a poop, I was having a shit, call it what you want. And the hemorrhoid was coming out, and it was protruding out of my anus. There was two lumps, and I was aware that they were out there for after the toilet. There was blood, big thick globules of blood. It was extremely uncomfortable to, you couldn't relax. It was a nightmare. I also had my folliculitis, which I get on skin, and I have skin rashes. I was waiting to see a dermatologist about that, and I had to wait a whole year to see the dermatologist. I was also, little did I know, going to have to wait a whole year for any operation to happen for my piles, my hemorrhoids. So 2018, I was going insane. Throughout the summer, I was going insane. My hemorrhoids were coming out, and they were staying out, and there was blood. I was just a wreck. I was put forward for an endoscopy from my doctors again, twice throughout 2018. The second time, or I should have said the third time I visited Bournemouth, I had to see a specialist, and I pleaded with them, you know, you've got to do something because I'm at the end of my tether. The problem is because I'd had the previous operations, they didn't want to operate, and they felt that I could control this by diet, and I was trying to explain to them that this is nothing to do with diet. This is a very, very different thing, and they're not going away. This was a grade 3 hemorrhoid that was protruding out after every bowel movement. So I was getting up in the morning and it was staying out for hours. Maybe in the evening it would go back, and it was a living nightmare. If anyone's been through it, you'll know what I mean. I made it through Christmas 2018, but just before that, a very dramatic thing happened. In September 2018, the benefits agency decided to change the benefit I was on, and they deemed me reasonably fit to work or to think about work, and I wasn't. That was the problem. In no way, shape or form. So I went to see a work coach in September 2018 in Ringwood, and I explained to them that I had just, even though I'd recovering from my breakdown, from my suicide thoughts, I was still deeply depressed, and physically everything was 10 times worse actually. And I had to go for what they do with employment support allowance is you fill in a form about your health, they assess it, and this company called ATOS do a work assessment and if you're fit to work or not. And it's all a point system, and it's absolutely ludicrous. And I saw this man who was very quick and very snippy. The time I'd had one before, I asked them to record it, and the man was very understanding. This one was horrible. It was just da 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 da. They asked if I tried to kill myself, and I said, or if I'd self-harmed. I wish I never had that interview. I wish I never went through with it. So they felt I was fit to consider work. The thing was, I absolutely wasn't. So I saw the work coach November, I don't know, whatever it was, 2018. And I explained how unwell I was, and they said, well, you can appeal the decision. And I thought about it. I said, can I think about that? Because I was aware if I appeal it, it was going to be a nightmare. Just from what I'd read on the internet and everything, appealing a decision was going to be a nightmare, and it was a nightmare. I had to wait over 7-8 months. I had to get all this paperwork and proof. Luckily, in 2019, before my operation on the piles, and before I had to go to court to appeal the decision, I got the Citizens Advice Bureau's help, and they were extremely helpful. And she advised that when my court date comes, that I go and I attend. So I'm going to rush on quickly here too, because I want this over with. So we got into 2019. I'd just got through Christmas, which I absolutely hate. Now I have some sort of phobia of winter. As soon as winter comes, I'm fucked. Doesn't matter if I get all the lights, and I just go into a pit of depression. It may be some kind of traumatic stress disorder from previous Christmases I've had and bad experiences. I don't know. It could just be, as a seasonal thing, but it's not just I don't just get a little bit down, I get bad. So there I was, 2018 with the hemorrhoids, 2018 Christmas with just wanting to die, every day really. So luckily, after my persistence and going to see getting the endoscopy, a specialist agreed to do the operation. So I got the operation in April 2019. This was a serious operation. It could go wrong. If it goes wrong, you can get a colostomy bag, or you can be incontinent for life. It's really quite serious. The recovery of that was not pleasant, but I recovered. So I had that in April 2019, and the beautiful thing is right now, that's been a tremendous success. That's fantastic. Don't recommend it unless you have to have it though. I made a series of 3 videos on YouTube about it, and a lot of people have talked about it. That's been quite helpful, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this as well, to get my life story down. And hopefully it'll benefit me. If anybody else watches the odd video, give me a shout back. I don't know if you can relate to any of my ramblings. So I'd had that operation, but I also had the court, my rights to benefit appeal, and the amount of money I was supposed to get appeal coming up, and I had to wait until July 2019. So that's September. It's about 8 months waiting, being a living physical nervous wreck every day waiting for that. Now a lot of people have killed themselves with benefits changes, universal credit coming in, Ian Duncan Smith being someone who should be in jail, the Tories, the whole system is broken, just like our NHS is under a crisis. It's a bit broken. People are not getting the help or the understanding they need. And my health assessment was made by a private company called Atos, and they're in it for profit basically. So I had to go to the appeal courts. Now, Citizens Advice said, after I got everything together, they said I've got a chance. Most people who go to these appeal courts, they win. With cases like mine, and I was completely unable to work. I remain, as I do this, unable to work. I won this appeal. I get emotional just thinking about it. It's almost like I'm still traumatic from this fucking appeal. That was July 2019. I waited till August because I was worried that the DWP, the benefits people, would appeal my appeal, and put me through more trauma, but they didn't, and I got backdated some money, and I got put in the right support group element for employment and sport allowance. But I had to fight for that, and I don't know how I did it without topping myself really, but I did. So here I am now, February 2020. No, I wrote all this goomph on February 2020. This is now March 14th, 2020, and I'm going to end it. I'm feeling particularly unwell today. Most nights, sleeping or not sleeping, I'm just having like a waking nightmare. It just feels like that. Phil is out today. Someone, his old partner he used to have, who he's still friends with, he still speaks with. They've taken him out somewhere. I'm in this position where I'm here still sort of as a lodger with Phil, and we're still friends, but for his health and my health it may be best that I get out, but I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. I don't have the energy or the mental health to get out, and I would have to go to shelter to get a council flat. I don't have any money, I don't have any assets. Phil is probably worse than I want to admit, and he won't even talk about it, with Alzheimer's or dementia. He just thinks it's old age. Little things, he's always been like this in some cases, little things like for instance the bus timetable changing, or oh yeah, the recently our bin collection time change for this house, for his collection has changed from Monday to Thursday starting next month, and that's like drives him up the wall. Yet right now we've got, we've still got Donald Trump in power, we've got the coronavirus, a pandemic has just hit big time, closing everything down. Yet he's worried about the bins changing, the day changing. He's got this structure, and if anything gets in the way of structure, which is part of, I believe, Alzheimer's and dementia, I've got some experience with it, is a very big deal to him, but maybe not so much to me. He has never for years tried to do anything new, and I remain probably selfishly somewhat resentful of that he's never tried to do anything new or for himself, and it's quite sad. It's just like he's waiting to die, and I'm here waiting to die too. I'm just stuck. I must end it there. I'm feeling quite ill. So that's been my video diary of my life so far. March, here we are. I've not drunk since I had my breakdown, so I've been 2 months without a drink, which is great because alcohol is a killer for me. It's no good. Does me no good whatsoever. Just fucks with my depression, and the next time I probably hit alcohol will be the final time I ever try it, so I'm aware that's a suicide. I'm still having a lot of suicidal thoughts, and I don't know where to go with my life right now. I feel so ill. I feel so desperately ill. A big chunk of money would be a wonderful help. We'll see how spring and summer comes. We'll see when this pandemic gets, lots of waiting to find out, but I want to just, feel better on a daily basis, and I don't know, the world is so crazy right now. Okay, if you've listened to this, thank you. If not, whatever. I'm going to go and make something to eat, force myself. Okay.